Compared to Ulfric's Stormcloak, General Tullius is a genius. He might be a bit abrasive and unaware of Nord customs, but this Imperial General is smart. From seeing the Skyrim Civil War for what it actually is, a distraction to the upcoming Second War, to undermining Thalmor influence in Skyrim, it's clear to see that Tullius is more intelligent than most other Skyrim NPCs. Chronologically, it makes sense to start by talking about the beginning of Skyrim, when the player begins as a prisoner and is being brought to Helgen to be executed. If you look to the right as you enter Helgen, you will see General Tullius talking to a Thalmor delegation. Ostensibly, as Ralof seems to imply, it seems as if General Tullius is being a sycophant towards Elenwen and the Thalmor. He will of course hold the Empire to ransom through the White Gold Concordant. However, in actuality, Tullius is probably making a stand. You see, the Thalmor fund the Skyrim Civil War. It has been a war that's come close to ending numerous times, but the Thalmor keep delivering the Stormcloaks weapons and supplies that keep them going. So when Tullius turns up with Ulfric and is saying he's going to execute him there and then, Elenwen, the leader of the Thalmor in Skyrim, is presumably trying to order, or maybe even beg Tullius to stop. No doubt that had Tullius instead locked up Ulfric to be sent to Cyrodiil, the Thalmor would have covertly had him smuggled out, or something like that. Tullius is a smart man for being able to see through the Thalmor's veneer of lies. He probably decided to execute the prisoners there and then, hence why there was the rush to execute the player, even though they're innocent, because he knew the Thalmor would try and prolong the war otherwise by saving Ulfric. It's also impressive that Tullius, a man who has presumably never visited Skyrim before, was able to ambush Ulfric's Stormcloak as he did, considering that Skyrim is Ulfric's home territory. Clearly, Tullius is more than a competent commander if he's able to ambush Ulfric so quickly. Hadvar also tells the player that Tullius has only been in Skyrim for a few months, and he's already been able to turn around the war effort. To be fair, given that the Empire is weak and is anticipating a new war with the Oldmo Dominion, it's likely that they sent one of their best generals to secure their northern flank, hence why General Tullius was so quickly able to outmaneuver Ulfric's Stormcloak. However, that being said, the Stormcloak missive found at Fort Njorgrad details that the Imperials amassed a large force at Pale Pass in Cyrodiil, the pass from which one can travel from Skyrim south to Bruma. But rather than this being proof that the Emperor doubts Tullius, Tullius was probably sent quickly with a small force initially to try and stop the Stormcloak's advances against the skeleton Imperial garrisons, so it would make sense that a bigger army was following on his heels. Tullius seems almost alone in Skyrim in that he appreciates that the Empire, and really the whole of humanity, are in a cold war with the Oldmo Dominion. Although there is peace, both sides are fighting for survival and will do anything to destroy the other, hence the Thalmor's actions in the Skyrim Civil War. Whereas Ulfric's Stormcloak seems to be ignorant of this fact. Instead, he seems to think the Empire has genuinely given up and become the Thalmor's puppet. Tullius is grounded in reality. The Civil War is a mere distraction, and beating back the Thalmor is the real prize. Tullius's enlightened viewpoint on this matter is revealed if you finish the Civil War questline either as an Imperial or Stormcloak.
All hail the Emperor! All hail his legionnaires!
If you fight for the Imperial Legion, Tullius will say privately to the player that, "I'm not so sure about the peace we've made with the Thalmor, but we'll keep that between the two of us." Alternatively, if you fight for the Stormcloaks, he will say before he dies that you realise that this is exactly what they wanted. By they, he obviously means the Thalmor.
This is it for you. Any last words before I send you to oblivion?
You realize this is exactly what they wanted.
What who wanted?
The Thalmor. They stirred up trouble here, forced us to divert needed resources and throw away good soldiers, quelling this rebellion.
It's a little more than a rebellion, don't you think?
He implies that the Thalmor are the only ones to gain from the success of the Stormcloak rebellion, and of course that's true. I've covered this before in a video on why Ulfric Stormcloak is an idiot, but the salient facts are these. If Skyrim leaves the Empire, humanity has a lesser chance of overcoming the Oldmo Dominion in the next war. Even if the Stormcloaks fight with the Empire, military cohesion will be lost, because where there used to be organised legions that were commanded centrally from the Imperial city, instead it will be a mix of legionnaires and Stormcloak fighters, and that will be difficult to keep on top of. Moreover, Cyrodiil is the richest and most powerful nation of humanity. They are better placed to arm, train, and oversee the war than Ulfric Stormcloak. In comparison to seasoned commanders like General Tullius, the Nords of Skyrim have less to offer militarily, so the best chance humanity has of beating the Thalmor is within the Empire, where the military and economic might of mankind can be best realised. Another hint towards Tullius' more intelligent status in realising the peace with the Thalmor is temporary is that he doesn't have disdain for Talos worship.
Talos be with you.
What was that, Legate?
Nothing. Just saying goodbye.
Where Imperials who are convinced of the peace might genuinely be offended or have disdain for people who worship Talos. When Legate Ricker prays to Talos after defeating Ulfric Stormcloak, Tullius pretends not to hear. I mean, of course he isn't going to openly endorse or praise Talos himself. A senior Imperial general doing that might be enough to provoke war, especially as there are probably Thalmor agents dogging his every step. A potential criticism against General Tullius might be that he doesn't care for the Nords or their customs. To many Nord separatist sympathisers, he might embody the imperialist ethos of the Empire, in that he has no care for the people of Skyrim or their traditions. However, as Tullius himself explains, he's been posted to a variety of different provinces to deal with unrest.
I'm originally from Cyrodiil, sent here at the request of the Emperor himself. I'm often ordered to places with problems that need fixing. Now, while I'm certain this is all terribly interesting to you, I have important matters to attend.
He's probably been to Morrowind, High Rock, all over Cyrodiil and maybe Hammerfell, so when he forgets Nord customs or appears to be a bit aloof about Nord culture, I'm not so sure you can say that he's being rude. It's more that he's being constantly posted to different places and doesn't have the time to acclimatise. That being said, Tullius says at the end of Skyrim that he will be posted in Skyrim for many years to come, and in his own words he states, "I'll never get used to the damn cold or understand these Nords, but I've come to respect them. The harshness of Skyrim has a way of carving a man down to his true self." If anything, Tullius is self-aware that he's not the best man for public relations, seen from the fact he appoints Legate Ricker, a Nord, as his chief lieutenant. She can often be heard explaining Nord concepts, such as Sovngarde or the Jagged Crown to Tullius.
Tell me again why I'm wasting men chasing after a fairy tale.
If Ulfric gets his hand on that crown, it won't be a fairy tale. It'll be a problem.
Don't you Nords put any stock in your own traditions? I thought the Moot chose the king. We're backing Elisif. When the Moot meets, they'll do the sensible thing.
Not everyone's agreed to the moot. You've been here long enough to know that Nords aren't always sensible. We follow our hearts.
So what? Ulfric gets this crown and then suddenly he's High King?
No, it's not as simple as that. But the Jagged Crown would be a potent symbol for his cause to rally around. But if we found it first...
And we gave it to Elisif.
In the absence of the moot, it would further legitimize her claim.
Perhaps. I'm entrusting you with what resources I can spare. But I'm warning you, if this turns out to be a waste of time and men...
It won't be a waste.
So for all his ignorance, he's not arrogant, whereas the Thalmor have little knowledge of Nord customs and thus consider themselves superior. Tullius is ignorant, but aware of the importance of respecting the Nords and what they believe in. To sum up General Tullius, in Skyrim he's an unparalleled military tactician. If Alduin had not intervened at Helgen, he might have put down the Skyrim rebellion in a matter of mere months after his arrival. Although Tullius might be a bit unaware of Nord culture, his ability to see the Thalmor for the threat that they are and his attempts to undermine their desires is evidence of his intelligence. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more videos on Elder Scrolls Geniuses or Idiots, then please do check out the playlist I made on my channel of all my videos in the Genius series so far. If you want to see more Elder Scrolls lore generally, then please do feel free to subscribe and check out my channel. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my patrons. They really do help me out. For pledging $2 a month, patrons get access to draft scripts before a video is released. And as I said, Their support helps me out loads. Anyway, comment below what genius or idiot you want me to investigate next, and I'll see you in the next one.